their family also.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because the family
Having a
comes.
support group,
I mean, if you don't
Yeah.
have, you know, the family is against something.
And then you can look
just
at
get away.
financial.
Yeah.
You
Because
can look at all
when
those
the family
things.
is against you, you're done. It's
Yeah,
like-
financial and
So-
all these things. You can look for
And have
all those
standards.
aspects.
Have standards.
Yeah.
And
I
one
used
thing I know, when the time comes, when Allah said you're gonna get
It will
married,
be easy.
believe me, the time will come and in where you're sitting. You don't have to look for anyone. It will come in where you're sitting. Believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause
If
someone
your
can
time
ask
comes,
for you.
Yeah.
Right.
When your time comes, it will come. You don't have to look for anyone. And it's already written who you're marrying and who you have in family with. Believe me.
Yeah, you don't
We
have to.
think
But
that-
if someone wants to look, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
But there's a lot of
That's
people,
fine.
women that do go to masjid and say I'm single and they want
That's it.
a
That's
Oh
spouse.
yeah, exactly.
And
Don't
it's,
don't
it's the
don't.
services are there.
Yeah,
That's
don't be
true.
afraid. Don't be afraid to
Don't
go
be
in
afraid
and
of
say
it.
I want a
Yeah.
husband and how
That's
do I
the
do
thing,
this
I mean, that's
and
it.
you know. But definitely, like it's like again, I always because the Quran calls Allah Subhanahu wa Taala calls marriage that we're partners. So I do think of it like a company. So it's like your references. Where are your references?
Right.
Let me sit with your mom and your dad. Let me
Yeah.
see. Let me have coffee with your sister.
Yes.
Let my brother talk to your brother.
Yes.
You know, it's like a
The
company
family,
because
it matters.
yeah, because you know it could be a good guy. It could be a good guy,
But
and
the
y'all
family.
just don't get. You know,
Alone, yeah.
you might might want to get into fishing, and you want to do a
something
laundromat
right.
or something. So you gotta like be going in the
Compromise.
same way.
I
You
feel
know,
like the personality, it matters.
yeah.
Yes.
It's not about the beauty.
Yeah.
It's not about how much
Yes,
you have. It's
I
the
agree.
person, it's the
Personality.
personality
Mhm.
matters.
If it brings out the best in you,
Yeah.
and it brings you closer
But like
to Allah.
you said, you
Yes.
never really know.
You cannot
who
know.
that person is
Because you're putting your
A
best
lot of
foot forward.
True.
But you can know
marry
through the
him.
personality.
Yeah, and the
You-
family.
Yes,
'Cause
and the
the
family.
family's not
how
gonna
he-
lie.
How he is, how he is at with his family. How they are.
The family
with
might
their
lie just to get rid of him.
sisters.
He's great. Marry him and
Like,
take him
take
with you.
him.
Yes.
Like, okay, your mom is too desperate. That's a red flag.
But that's
And
Run for
the
your
guy,
life.
You don't have to buy. He buys you.
But you know what? Islam simplifies everything. Keep
Yeah,
it does.
complicated.
Yes.
And especially with nowadays, when Muslims try to follow the trend that the kuffars are doing, whether it's a matrimonial, Islamic matrimonial, you know, there's ways that we have to just keep it simple.
Keep it
And
simple.
to go back to the Prophet's time,
Sallallahu
keep
alaihi
it just the way it was, he was doing it, and not complicated. you know?
Exactly.
But see, in 2015, no one cannot follow the prophet.
But that's what
Right.
they say. That's what the leading
I don't know. My
example.
marriage was
We're
simple.
in
We
2015.
got married in a house.
This is 2015.
Yeah,
Mine was
I got
simple.
mine was simple too.
Mine was simple. I mean, you don't have. I feel like whoever does the big wedding and it's just waste of money. And believe me, go to a beautiful vacation. Spend your money on something is worth it.
Making
Not one
memories.
night.
Go to
Not one
Hajj.
day.
Go to Hajj. That'll be
Yeah.
the perfect.
Yeah.
But it's like not only with abuse with in marriages. Also, be careful. You know who you hang out with. Point blank.
Yes.
Period. Your platonic friends. You know,
Yes.
if you have family members that are abusive to you,
Yeah.
or cousins or family and stuff
Not
like
just
that.
to your not just to who you married. It can be your family member who you can. It can come from your house.
Yep.
You know, not
So-
just. You know, it could have a lot of things. You know, through the family too.
And
Yeah.
there are a lot of different ways of abuse. It's
Yeah.
not just physical abuse.
Not
It's
just
mentally,
hitting.
emotional.
Give us an example.
So-
We can just say there is ways, but let's get an example.
Emotional,
Yeah,
psychological,
like
financial.
emotional, like basically, really tugging to get that approval of someone, and then
Yeah.
just bashing, putting you down.
Down.
Nothing's enough. Like you
Whatever
could
you do,
give-
it's like
you
nothing
could
is
take down
enough.
the moon and stars for a person, and it would be
still not
like,
doing it.
what is this?
Yeah.
You didn't give me
'Cause-
the whole galaxy. You
Yeah,
know?
because
Like you mentioned the phone thing, always asking who just called you or
Yeah,
taking
who
your
called
phone
you?
or breaking
they
your
make
phone.
you like you
or-
cannot talk to this person
Right.
or you cannot talk to this. It's like they choose. It's like a little kid. You're like dealing with your father. Like your worst
But that's
father.
but that's the thing is taking the power back because
Yeah.
it takes two people.
Yes.
You know, so it's misdirected ibadah. It's misdirected worship. You want to please approve me. Am I pretty today? Do you like me
Yes.
today? So it's misdirected. It should go to Allah.
Oh,
You know,
Yes.
it should go to Allah. And this
Right.
person should help you get closer to Allah.
Allah.
He wakes you up, not because something's on your phone, but for Fajr.
Yes.
You know? But the same thing is we have to be those women too.
Right.
You know?
Ourselves.
We have to be
Strong
those
women
women
with our
too.
own faith.
You know, so if we have a brother who's has good iman and good deen, but his money's funny, that's okay.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't have the white picket fence, or he's still in school. You know,
That's
so
that's nothing have to do. Money doesn't
No, it's the deen is the number one thing
Yes.
because
Faith.
that's what's
Yeah.
going to solidify
I mean,
your
right,
relationship.
yeah.
You know
But
how
but on the flip side, there could also be, you know, a brother who's on his deen, who's on his man, and
Yeah.
he still has that, you know, abusive tone to him. So
well,
you
those
know,
are the
you
ones that
have to
use it as
know-
abuse. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They
It could
think
be
it's
mental.
deen. They think it's
It could be
deen.
mentally.
They justify
Justify
it.
it,
They
yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
a
It's
deen
not a deen.
because it's like the
They
two
use
things.
that. They use that
But it's like
against you.
yeah, it's
It
like
could
the,
be mental.
it's like the two things that Yazim hold your head. Shout out. That she
Yeah.
says that the shayateen gets us is despair
Yeah.
and arrogance. So when we're arrogant, we hurt people and we abuse people. And even when we're depressed too.
Yeah.
When women that unfortunately why we in America we have a high abuse rates of children because women are being abused and then we abuse our children.
Yes.
We
Right.
abuse our children. So that's how the despair trickles down. And when you're self-righteous, if you a brother or a sister, you think you know, you waking up your family with pots and pans and haram, haram, haram.
Yeah.
That's abusive.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's abusive. You know, that's
Right.
you know, that's
Because
your
the Islam is
arrogance.
about balance,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything in
Just to
moderation.
bring this up, because King Khalid Yusuf, when he talks about the hitting, the approval of a certain hitting of women in the Quran,
Yeah.
and then he goes on to describe it in detail what is really justifiable. You know,
Mhm.
he goes, you can just tap her, you can't punch her, you
No.
can't make bruises on her. And a lot of non-Muslims might look at that and say, how could they approve that? You know, how could they approve any kind of
Yeah.
But the
like
thing about it is,
prophecy.
yeah, because the Quran says that's only in lewdness. Now that doesn't count, but that is domestic violence. America would say, why, if your husband caught you in the act of lewdness, which is being
Right.
skanky, twerking, used to be
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
okay? But what do we do
Catch your
outside of
mouth.
Islam?
Yes.
What do we do outside of Islam? They shoot women. America has the highest rates of
Yeah.
abuse.
Yes,
We
they
kill
are.
more people in gangs, in pharmaceutical drugs and food.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna go into that. We
Yeah.
kill more people with domestic violence, drunk driving,
Yeah.
but we kill each other in this country. You know,
Yeah,
and
right.
that's one of them is
Yeah,
that
right.
outsiders who don't understand, they'll say, why is this in your Quran? But if your husband caught you in a situation,
Adultery.
he'll shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
May Allah protect us. And you know,
And that's one of the most
And
favorite things for
you know,
non-Muslims
one
to
thing I
quote.
always-
Oh, it says they can get hit.
Yeah.
Says your husband can hit you.
You know, one thing I
Always.
always want to put this like when a guy, your husband just slap you or touch you, don't think that you want to give him a chance.
No.
That he's gonna change.
Don't think it's the last time.
No.
Don't ever
Believe me.
get back
It's
into
the
that
first.
cycle.
Don't ever just turn. Don't turn. Run with your shoes on. Right? You don't. leave.
and don't think you're being patient by staying.
Yes.
And then because
No.
Allah has something
Exactly.
better for you, right? Because
Yes.
you were single mom, I was
Yes.
single mom, 4 kids, and we both got, mashallah,
Alhamdulillah.
beautiful husbands.
No. It's not. Nothing is too late. Believe me. Run when you can. Don't think that guy will leave beating you. It's gonna happen more. It's gonna continue because the forgiveness. That's what happens. You know.
Yeah, and then you can't fix a person, you can't change the
No.
person.
No.
And you can only fix and change you because you know you look at your life and you're not gonna be able to say you did it. No, you did it. At some point, you are responsible. You
Yeah.
are accountable.
Yeah.
Especially if you have kids. You know, my kids had to ask me, Mom, why are we still going through this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed, and I was like,
I
I'm
lost-
sorry,
I
I'm
almost
being
lost
selfish.
My kids. I lost my kids. I'm going back. My kids was taken away from me
Yeah. So
because of this situation. Because I didn't keep going back until I lost my kids. I opened my eyes and my kids are gone.
see, and then you had to fight, right? You had
Of
to put your
course, I
big,
had to
put your
fight.
big girl hijabis on.
Yeah,
Ask
right.
for help. You
Yeah.
know, that's why we need, like you said, balance. We can't be too arrogant and too despair. There's no hope for me.
Yeah.
You know,
You have to run. Don't think
ask
the
for
war
help.
is the end. Believe me, nothing is ended.
it's actually the beginning of your world.
Yeah.
It's actually the
You have to
beginning
move
of
and get out.
a
Do
better
something.
life.
If one research is failed, go to another research. If this one, and one thing is you also have to remember you don't have no one to be with you. Allah
Yes.
is the most important thing.
Alhamdulillah.
If you
Oh,
put
yeah.
Allah in your faith, don't lose your faith. Because Allah tests you by different ways in
He
this world.
does.
You know, if you lose your iman, that's it. You're
Yeah.
gone. You know,
Yeah.
always the iman is the fortune. I tell people, do not
Mhm.
lose your faith. You know?
But that's why the worship has to be to Allah. Because if anybody's in your way, that's a sign.
Yeah.
You're in my way. Every time I want to pray, you want to do something else, or if I want to do these things to get me closer to Allah, you got to have people that bring you closer,
Yeah.
that remind you, that say, sister, you know,
Yeah.
just remind you, not reverse. Like, man, you wanna pray, or why do you have that on? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like thinking, oh, I am giving them dawah by putting up with this. No, you're not. You know, you're not. You know.
Oh, and I do have just one question for the reverts, because you guys are going into a new marriage with different principles.
Mhm.
So the Islamic principles. Did you guys find marriages right away after you converted, or what's the process of each one of you guys how you did it?
Yeah.
Regina, you want to go first and tell us?
Oh, I don't even know how to answer that question.
Lori, maybe?
Process.
Well, you want to think about it first? I don't want to
Yeah,
jump in.
you could
Well,
jump
I
in.
was married 10 years ago. Then this was pre-Islam for me, back on the East Coast before I moved to California. And I had that big wedding, you know, the big $3,000 dress and the big ring and the big.
And we didn't go. We didn't know you then. Too bad.
And it was a fabulous party, and it was a waste of money, but I had to show off for everybody. That's how I defined myself. I didn't have Allah in my heart, so I defined myself by I have the most expensive wedding invitations, and everybody else's invitations they're sending me. Look at this crap from Party City. Mine were
That was my invitation. I'm sorry.
I mean, I was so judgmental, and it was because I was so empty. But yeah, after converting, and I had not actually officially publicly said my shahada yet,
Yeah.
but I had done it in my heart,
Mhm.
and that is when I met my current husband. And I took that as a sign from Allah. That,
Mhm.
and it was fast and it was easy. And for another show topic, maybe we'll talk about this, what my family thinks about it. And you know,
MashaAllah.
there being all these negative connotations around it, but it was exactly what I was supposed to do and who I was supposed to meet. And
Allahu Akbar.
Well, me and my husband, we met on our own. He introduced me to his parents, and we met in January 2007. And I met his parents around April of 2007. I ended up taking my shahada June of 2007, but we did not get married till like a year later. When I did take my shahada, he did tell the sheikh of that time that he was interested, and he also told his dad. So we kind of like dated, and that was that on that part. And we got married a year later, October 12th of 2008. It was very simple in a house. We slaughtered goats. We gave charity and gave out food and men and women. It was a very simple, nice nikah, and and now we're here today.
You know, everybody should do that. And you know, whoever wants to make a wedding, the best way your marriage, like your marriage, gonna go halal and just perfect. Give charity. Send someone that needs money. You know, orphan kids. You know, somewhere in back home, somewhere they have people that's, you know, going through a hard time at this time. You know, and believe me, your marriage will go perfect for life.
And
That's
what's-
one thing I believe.
And what's one thing that we can each, you know, just to close out, leave with our listeners, if they can take one thing with them, if we can give one thing to a sister in advice, just one thing in regards to how to, you know, avoid, nothing is foolproof, but just one piece of advice from experiences in experiencing domestic violence, not experiencing domestic violence, you know, never been married. What's one
I'm gonna jump in and
advice.
say, trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut, because every
yourself.
single man, as I was in 3 abusive relationships back to back, and that's also how it happens. You end up in a cycle.
Yeah.
That's what you attract, and then that's what you do, and then you lose everything. And da. Trust your gut. Every single one of those men, I knew from the moment I laid eyes on them the first time that they were bad. But something made me ignore it, the shaitan, whatever, the desire, I thought they were attractive. Whatever was wrong with me in my head at the time, I ignored the gut feeling and that gut feeling comes from the God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's when, even when you don't know what to call the God and you don't know what you believe in, that's
And
where
they
that
have
gut
this
feeling
face,
comes
like
from.
they have this face, like so innocent faces. Like you think that this person will not. Like I don't know. They
Two
have this,
faces.
like they
They
have
have
this
one.
face, so
Yeah,
innocent.
two
Whoever sees me and they see him, like they think that, oh my God, you're the shaitan. Like, you know, I don't know how anybody can make those innocent face. I don't get it.
What
Be
advice
careful
would you
those
give?
innocent faces.
And then we just go down.
I don't know.
I'm
What's
gonna
advice?
just jump in really quick, and I would say just have faith.
Have
You
faith.
know,
Yeah.
trust the law. You know, put your faith in Him, and you know the rest will come.